everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Let me see if I am live. Let me just check if I'm live and then I'll check my audio and then we will start the class. Alright. All of you. Let me see if I am live. Okay. I am live and my audio is also absolutely clear. So a very warm welcome to the class, guys. I hope you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys had a good weekend also. All right. So let me just check if everything is okay. Then we will start. Okay, seems fine. Everything seems fine. Okay, so a very good morning to all of you guys, and as you all know, as you can see from the title itself, we will be talking about the Pallava dynasty, right? But as I have already spoken about, this is part 1 or part 2 of Pallava dynasty. I've already done a video on Pallava dynasty once. I think that was on Friday or Saturday, I think. And now I will be continuing with the Pallava dynasty itself. So I think in the last class I had told you all about the rulers and I told you about the last rulers. I told you about Aprajitvarman and everyone, Mahendravarman and all of that I've told you, that I've explained. And now I'll be beginning with some other factors, some other important aspects of the Pallava dynasty. So today we will be talking about the society. Sorry. Okay. So today we'll be talking about the society and culture. I am so sorry guys, I just wanted to select a different pen. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about the society and culture. Then we will move on to talk about religion. Then we will move on to talk about languages. Fine. And most importantly in today's lecture, we will be talking about Pallava architecture. Right. So as I told you in the beginning of the lecture only, that they are known or they are pioneers, right? Mahendravarman is a pioneer of rock cut architecture, particularly rock cut temples, isn't it? So that's what we will continue. We will discuss various temples, like we will discuss Mandagapattu rock cut temple, we will discuss about Kailashnathar temple, we will discuss about Vaikunt Perumul temple. These are very important temples that we will be discussing about. Okay. So that's what we will do in today's lecture. Alright, so let's start with our lecture today. Alright, so today we will start with the society and culture under the Pallavas. See guys, we have to understand one thing. One basic thing we have to understand is that they are Hindus, fine? And most importantly, they gave very good and important position to Brahmins, fine? But at the same time, they were tolerant towards other traditions, like they were tolerant towards Buddhism and Jainism. Buddhism and Jainism was not very prevalent in South India, but they were still, a little tolerant towards them. Okay. So now as far as the Pallava composition is concerned, you can see the growing effect of Aryan culture here. So I've already told you all about the Aryan culture, the Aryan invasion theory and everything in the beginning of my videos here on this channel when we did the early Vedic age and the later Vedic age. Fine. Now, as I already told you that because they were Hindus and because they were following the one system, Brahmins obviously had a leading position. Fine. Now there were two reasons as to why Brahmins had a leading position. One is obviously because of the one system, because the one system guarantees that they would be obviously at the helm of everything. And the second reason is because of the land grants which are being given to the Brahmins. Okay. Now for the land grants, two different kind of terms are always used. Please remember these terms because you will see these terms in the aspect of this chapter. First of all, agrahar, that is one term, and sometimes the term brahmadeya is also used. Okay, so please remember these terms. These terms are actually important. So the Brahmins have a very high position, particularly because of these two reasons, but particularly because of the one system, and then because of the land grants which are being given to them. Okay. Then Aryanization could be seen in the field of education as well. And now there were three types of places for the people to reside. Now, Ur was a place where the peasants were living. It was headed by a headman. He was the one who was responsible for collecting taxes and then giving it to the government. Fine. So Ur is a place where the peasants are living. They are headed by whom? They are headed by a headman. The headman is responsible for collecting taxes from the peasants and then moving it forward to the government. Fine. Now Sabha, if you all remember, I had already told you about Mahasabha in the Chol dynasty. So Sabha was the area or was the land which was granted to the Brahmins in the form of agrahar or brahmadeya. Now these are tax-free lands. Fine. And Nagaram is a place where all the merchants and the traders would have resided. Okay. Let's move a little further and then we can clear some doubts together. Now, so obviously, as I told you, during the Pallava period, Brahmins had a very important position and they had completely replaced Jain and Buddhist traditions in formulating policies. Fine. Brahmins were honored obviously in two ways. They received brahmadeya, which was known as agrahar also, and obviously because they had a very important position as far as the one system is concerned. Alright. Now the Pallavas were orthodox Hindus. They were either worshippers of Shiva or Vishnu, but as I told you, they were not like conservative Hindus, or they were not staunch Hindus. They did respect Buddhism and Jainism as well. Buddhism and Jainism was not very prevalent in South India, but however much prevalent it was respected by the Pallava kings. Okay. And Kanchipuram was the capital also, and it was the great center of learning as well. And there was a university in Kanchipuram which played a very important role in spreading the Aryan culture in South. Now, why are we talking about Aryanization? Why are we talking about Aryan culture over and over again? We have to understand, guys, that Aryanization or Aryan culture was something which was actually prevalent only in North India, because that's where it started from, right? The invasion and everything else, it started in North India, right? So how did it reach South India? How did the impact or the influence reach South India? That happened during the reign of the Pallava dynasty. Okay. Also because finally you can see that how the Aryan influence can be seen in society, in culture, in education. All of these factors, you will see the growing influence of Aryans in the Pallava dynasty. Alright, so that is why they have gone on and on and on about the society and culture. They've gone on and on about the process of Aryanization. Okay, let me just give you a brief of whatever we have done. मैं आपको बस एक brief दे रही हूँ in society and culture. The important things that I'm just going to write down for you, so it becomes easy for you to remember. Okay. First of all, we have to understand that they are what? Orthodox Hindus. किसको वर्शिप करते हैं? शिवा को और विष्णु को वर्शिप करते हैं. Fine. They are tolerant, definitely. Okay. Then you can see growing influence of Aryans. And because of the growing influence of Aryans, you can also see what? Importance of Brahmins. और ब्राह्मण्स की इंपॉर्टेंस 2 वजह से है गाइस, ठीक है. इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ 2 रीजन्स. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द वर्ण सिस्टम, एंड सेकेंडली इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ अग्रहार or the land grants which are being given to them. Then we learnt about what? Then we learnt about 3 places. We learnt about Ur, Sabha, and lastly we learnt about Nagara. Okay, so these are the important points that we have covered in the society and culture of the Pallava dynasty. Okay, let me know if you have any doubts still here, and then we'll continue. We do have one more slide, okay, so we will continue after. The live chat is open, guys. You can always ask your doubts here. No doubts at all? Okay, chaliye. Let's move ahead now. Alright. Okay, so I've already told you all the important points here, guys. Fine. And ये वाला जो slide है, this I'll be telling you in context of language. So let's just move ahead and I'll be talking about language and all. I'll be telling you about it. So let's talk about the religion. See guys, again let's try to take out points from whatever we have understood before, so that it becomes easy for us to remember things, right? So what do you think will be the religion of the Pallavas? Obviously they will be Hindus, right? Okay, fine. And obviously the Brahmins are going to be important. And since they are Hindus and Brahmins are important, they would be following the Vedic tradition. But obviously they are also tolerant towards other religion. Fine. That is Buddhism and Jainism. Now on the basis of these points, let's try to understand what has been written. So this is a very easy way to learn something, or to remember things. Why? Because if you draw conclusions on yourself on the basis of your understanding, you won't have to mug things up. You won't have to remember things. You would just have an understanding. So whenever you talk about Pallavas, you will be able to conclude, Ocha, they are Hindus, Brahmins are important because Agrahar is being given. Then maybe they're also following Vedic traditions, right? So that's what we have to, that's what we have to inculcate, because there's a lot to learn for your exams. We can't just learn everything up. Okay, so Pallavas definitely were followers of Hinduism, and Brahmins were important because of the land grants which were being given to them, and also because the one system guarantees them that security. Also, they were followers of Vedic tradition, and performed all sorts of yagya like Ashwamedh yagya, Rajasuya yagya, all of that. Then we have a Chinese Buddhist pilgrim, Yun Tsang. He visited during the reign of Narasimhavarman II, and he has reported that there were around 80 temples in Kanchipuram and 100 Buddhist monks. 100 Buddhist monasteries were there. Now, I'm sure this is an indicator of how tolerant they were, that they were not just maintaining the temples, but they are also maintaining what? They are also maintaining the Buddhist monasteries. Okay, so that's about the religion of the Pallavas. Alright, let me know if there's anything that you would want me to ask. The live chat is always open, guys, and for any reason, if any reason you're watching your recordings, please also drop in a comment if there's something you don't understand. Let's move ahead. Let's clear some more topics, and then maybe we can come back to it. Okay, let's talk about the language. Again, let's try to draw some conclusions here. So obviously, since they are following Vedic traditions, I'm sure they would be knowing Sanskrit. Okay, since they are in the southern region, they would be familiar with Tamil. All right, this is something I can draw. ये मेरा अपना conclusion है on the basis of their location and on the basis of the empire. Let's see what kind of other things, what kind of other information do we have here. Now, all the official work was done either in Sanskrit or in Prakrit. Okay, so we have one more addition here, something more to remember. So now you don't have to remember Sanskrit and Tamil alag se, isn't it? You just have to remember that, oh, acha, Prakrit was also there. So, for official purposes, which languages were being used? For official purposes, Sanskrit and Prakrit is being used. Okay? They are also considered as the official language of the dynasty. Fine. Now, some inscriptions in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka have been found in Sanskrit and Prakrit. But apart from that, some inscriptions have also been recorded in the Tamil language. Okay, so Tamil language is also to be used. So there are three languages which are being used: Sanskrit and Prakrit for inscriptions and all other important and official work, and Tamil is particularly being used for what, guys? Tamil is particularly being used for inscriptions. Okay, all right. Let me know if you have doubt in these two slides. Take a look at your लाइव चैट ओपन है बिल्कुल. अगर आपको कुछ नहीं समझ में आए तो आप मुझे ज़रूर बताइएगा. Okay, let's move ahead. Alright, now we've come to something really important. Now this is something you might have to learn a little bit. So here we are going to talk about the Pallava architecture. Now guys, remember one thing. Whenever we talk about Pallava, you have to remember one thing, and that is rock cut temples. If you remember this, half of your matter is going to be solved, right? So the Pallava architecture can be divided into 4 styles. Now these styles are actually named after the kings who patronized them, who introduced them. So we have the Mahendra style from 600 to 625 AD. We have the Mamala style from 625 to 674. We have the Raj Simha and the Nandi Varman style from 674 to 800. And then lastly, we have the Aparajit style from 9th century onwards. Okay. So these are the 4-5 styles of architecture that you will find here. Now the Pallava architecture is best known for transforming huge rock boulders or one single piece of rock into beautiful freestanding temples. So if you can just look at the image to my right hand side, you will see what? You will see a beautiful temple, fine. But the beauty of this temple is, you know what guys? It has been carved out from one single piece of rock. It has been carved out from one single piece of rock, that is your huge boulder. Okay? So the Pallava era witnessed a transformation from rock cut to freestanding temples. Mahendra Varman is considered to be the pioneer, or he is considered to be the explorer, the first person who came up or who explored the idea of rock cut architecture. All right, Mandagapattu temple was the first rock cut temple which was developed by him. All right, now. Narasimha Varman, also known as your Raj Simha, he is credited with building what? The Kanchi Kailashnathar temple. Okay. The Shore temple was also built by him, and it was recognized as the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Please remember these dates, these are important. Then we have the Vaikunt Perumal temple that was built by Nandi Varman II. Okay, I will be talking about all of these temples in detail guys. Okay, don't worry, मैं इन सब temples के बारे में अभी आपको detail में ही बताऊंगी. Fine. So I don't think you would have any doubts here. This is very simple. So let's just jump on to the temples and then maybe we can clear some doubts together. Let's talk about the Mandagapattu rock cut temple. Now, who is the person who has built this temple? It was built by Mahendra Varman. Fine. And it is a single rock cut temple. So as you can see this is a huge mountain, right? You can see this is a mountain, and in the mountain only they have cut out, all right, using a hammer and a chisel, they have cut out spaces and they have made a temple. So when you're cutting out spaces, you don't need any wood, brick or metal to hold the pieces or hold things together, because you have the rock to support that. Okay, if you can just look at the pillars here, you will see that the pillars itself are supporting the entire structure. It's just that they have been carved out like that. Okay. So where is it located? It is located in Villupuram in Tamil Nadu. Now as you enter, you will see huge dwarpals. Now if you can just look at this figure here, and then you can look at this figure here. So whenever you're entering the temple, you can see huge dwarpals. Dwarpals are like gatekeepers or watchmen. And this later on becomes a characteristic feature of all the temples in South India. Fine. Now, the most marvelous chapters opened with the reign of successor Mahendra Varman, which is Narasimha Varman. So, see, Mahendra Varman was the pioneer. He started on it, rock cut temple. And who built on it? Who basically bettered it, who made it much more better? It was Narasimha Varman or Mamala. Fine. So during his reign, Mahabalipuram or the boulders of Mahabalipuram were transformed into beautiful temples. Fine. They are located in Kanchipuram, which is the Pallava capital. Alright. So that's all about the Mandagapattu rock cut temple. Let me know if you have any doubts still here. If there's anything you have not understood, you can definitely let me know. The live chat is open, guys. Please take a look and let me know if there's anything you don't understand here. Okay, moving ahead. Now, let's talk about the Kailashnath temple at Kanchipuram. Now, just look at the temple, guys. Just look at the temple. I'm sure you can compare that from here, from Mandagapattu temple to Kailashnath temple, a lot of development have already taken place in the, in this phase in the Kailashnath temple. You can see how beautifully and richly decorated it is, how beautiful the sculptures are. Each and every part, each and every pillar has been sculpted with something very beautiful, right? So Kailashnath building, Kailashnath temple is the best building which was, constructed by Narsim Varman. Fine. It is also one of the most beautiful temple. I don't think I need to explain that. You can see it from the picture itself. All right. Now, this temple is important from the historical point of view because of two reasons. First reason is that this inspired the Chola king Rajaraja I to build the Brihadeshwara temple. So the Brihadeshwara temple, which is I think in Thanjavur, it has actually been inspired by this particular temple. And yes, you will see the carvings are very much similar. The carvings are equally beautiful. Okay? Now, it is also important for the fact that now the kings have started taking a direct interest in the temple building activities. Earlier, the king used to provide just the resources for the temple building activity, but now they have taken it upon themselves. They have taken a personal interest in making the temples, because it was also a way in which they could portray divinity. It was also a way in which they could portray their power and prestige. Okay. So the second reason is the direct and close intervention of the rulers started after the creation of this temple. Now, it started a tradition in India where the kings took deep interest in building temples. Now here you will see in this temple, you can see lion sculptures everywhere. So I just have picture from one side, and I'm sure you can see a lion sculpture here as well. Now lion was the insignia, or you can say it was the sigil of the Pallavas. It was a symbol which they were using. So it is but obvious that they have something like this constructed in their temples as well. Okay. Let me know if you have any doubts till here. If there's anything you've not understood, guys, please let me know. Okay. Then we have the Vaikunth Perumal temple. The Vaikunth Perumal temple is located in Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu. It was built by Nandi Varman. It is one of the 108 Divya Desams. Now, there are 108 temples which are dedicated to Lord Vishnu, alright. So it is one of the 108. मतलब कहते हैं ना वो 108 में से ये एक है दिव्य देशम और दिव्य place or a divya temple where Vishnu ji is being worshipped. Okay. The temple was named as Parameshwara Vishnu Griham, What do you mean by that? Parmeshwara means God, Vishnu means God, Parmeshwara Vishnu. Griham means the house of Vishnu. So basically it is the house of Lord Vishnu. Okay. It is actually modeled after the original name, which was Parmeshwara of Nandi Varman. So the original name would have been Parmeshwara of Nandi Varman, but then it was later changed on to Parmeshwara Vishnu Griham. Fine. So this is a very beautiful temple, as you can see, beautiful sculptures, beautiful architecture. It is gardens on all the sides here. Okay. Chali, let's do Shore Temple. Fine. And then with this we would have come to the end of our discussion. तो हम Shore Temple कर लेते हैं. Now Shore Temple is located in Mahabalipuram. Fine. And under whose reign was it built? This was also built under the reign of Narasimha Varman. And UNESCO has also recognized it as a World Heritage Site. Now, what do we see here? Now, there are 3 temple complexes. Fine. So, there are 3 separate temples in this temple complex. Each temple is 5 story. मतलब हर temple में 5 मंजिला है. Fine. And out of these 3 shrines, 2 have been dedicated to Shiva and 1 has been dedicated to Vishnu. Okay. So, out of 3 temples, 3 temple complexes, 3 temples within the temple complex, 2 is for Shiva and 1 is for Vishnu, and all the temples, all the 3 temples are actually 5 story, मतलब 5 मंजिला इनका है ही है. ठीक है? Now, importance of Shore Temple is that it marks the culmination of the architectural efforts that began with the cave temples and monolithic rathas. So, in here you will see that it marks the culmination, or basically an amalgamation or mixture of rock cut architecture and monolithic rathas. Now, what is monolithic rathas? Rathas are basically like chariot. Okay. So, see guys, they started from, something like this, right? Which was not very beautifully designed or not very intricate or not something, which has a lot of sculptures. From here, the technology developed eventually, alright, and they moved moved to different places. They moved to something like Kailashnath Temple. Finally, they moved to Vaikuntha Perumal Temple. And then they moved on to what? And then they moved on to the Shore Temple. Alright. फिर ये कहाँ गए थे? फिर ये गए Shore Temple के प्रति तरफ. And you can see that Shore Temple is actually in the form of a chariot. Okay. How has it been constructed? It has been constructed in a form of the chariot. So I don't know if you can make it out, but I don't know if you can see, but this seems like a chariot. This is smaller, this is bigger, right? It has been constructed in the form of a chariot, or it has been constructed in the form of a rath. Okay, so it is also a rock cut architecture, obviously, but it also marks the amalgamation of monolithic rathas. Means now rock cut temples are being cut in the form of rathas or chariot. Okay, the temples are being constructed in such a way that they look like chariots. Okay, so that was all about the Pallava dynasty. Fine. I have told you about the rulers, I have told you about the Pallavas' political history, I have told you about their social history, their religion, I have told you about the languages that they were speaking, I have discussed the various architectural styles which was being promoted during their reign. I have also discussed the various temples, the important pointers of the temple, who built it, who founded it, what is the temple dedicated to. I have discussed all of these factors with you. So with this, we have come to an end of our discussion of the Pallava dynasty. Later on, next up, we will be taking some other dynasties from South India as well, and that you can see in our next class. Alright, so I am going to stop here, guys. If you have any doubts or anything that you might not have understood, you can definitely let me know in the live chat. कुछ भी ऐसा जो आप लोगों को नहीं समझ में आया हो, कुछ भी कोई डिफिकल्टी, कोई डाउट, kuch bhi, whatever it is, you can always let me know in the live chat. Alright, okay guys, so I will end the session here. Thank you so very much for joining me here. It was an absolute pleasure to have you all. Before you all leave, I would request everyone to join us on the Telegram group. Please join our Telegram channel. The link has been given in the description box. The link and scan code both have been given. Why is it important for you to join the Telegram group? Because this is where you will get updates regarding the classes. Fine. At the same time, whatever files we upload, whatever notes we upload, you will get the PDF of that notes very easily available on the group itself. So it is really going to help you in understanding or in keeping up with your preparations. You will have access to all the notes. And before you all leave, I would request all of you to please like the video, share it with your friends, comment and let us know what you like and what you don't like. If you like something, we would love to be appreciated. If you don't like something, we would love to know so that we can improve on it. So thank you so very much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to see you all, to have you all here. Fine. And again, a huge request before you all leave, do subscribe to the channel. We've already reached 47 subscribers. We really want to reach 50 as soon as possible. So do subscribe to the channel. Press the bell notification on so that you get notified whenever we post a new video and you can be live for it. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for watching the video. I'll be seeing you all in the next class. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night. Take care. See you.